Hello there. Welcome back to Elements in Focus. Today, awesome topic, one that we're constantly asked to address, and that is evaluating pension options. And no better source to help us answer this question is our very own Director of Financial Planning, Aaron Rheaume. Say that two times fast. Always with me on the show. Been doing this Elements of Focus for a long time. So excited to have him with me from our Brownsburg office. And Aaron, this is a topic we are constantly asked to evaluate because it's an important one. This could be a multi-million-dollar decision for some people, and when you tie into Social Security, it gets even deeper. So I don't want to steal any thunder from you, my friend, but have at it. Let the people know what they want to hear, and how do we help families evaluate pension options, and what really is the best course of action when directing your financial future and making one of these choices.
Absolutely, Grant. There is a lot to unpack in that question, just in general. First and foremost, if you are blessed enough to have a pension, congratulations, because those are going by the wayside. Companies started to get rid of those years and years and years ago. But for those of you that are blessed for having a pension, that is a wonderful thing, and absolutely something that needs to be evaluated. Second, when you go to evaluate that pension option, please do not make that decision in a silo. You have to look at the entire farm operation, and I'll get into that in just a minute. And then, thirdly, when evaluating a pension option, make sure you are using or working with a fiduciary that's going to give you the best possible advice, helping you along the evaluation process, and one that does know the entire financial picture so that they can look at the overall farm operation. When evaluating pension options, there are several factors to consider. Usually it starts with what type of payout would you like to receive? Would you like to take a lump sum? And that is taking a value of what that pension says it's worth, and it's worth X amount of dollars, moving it from that into another form of an account like an IRA. Sometimes people make a bad mistake and they take a lump sum altogether and pay ordinary tax on that lump sum distribution. Probably the least uh, it's probably the worst option is taking the lump sum. Now just make sure you're evaluating your situation. So looking at income, looking at how you want to receive it, it gets into then moving into how you want to receive that income. Do you need it for straight life, which is the pension recipient only? And so if something were to happen to you, that would not go on to a spouse or a beneficiary. What type of survivor options are there? Is there a 100% survivor option? Is there a 75% survivor option? Is there a 50% survivor option? All of those things need to be evaluated and looked at when you go into your income planning strategy. Another thing to look at is, does it make sense to actually take the lump sum and not take it in cash, but take the lump sum and move it into an IRA or a Roth IRA type vehicle? And when you're evaluating that, evaluate a couple things. What is the internal rate of return on the pension? What do you need to go earn in a bank account or an investment account in order to produce that same annual return? Another thing to look at is, what if you were to take that lump sum, move it into an IRA, and look at the break even? So, how many years worth of payments would you receive in order to equate to that lump sum option? Grant, there are so many different things, so many moving pieces. I was all over the board on that just because it is not an easy decision when you go to evaluate your pension options. So, really quickly, just to summarize, make sure if you have a pension that you are working with someone that can look at everything holistically, because it's not a one size fits all. There's so many moving parts and pieces. That's where someone like us as a fiduciary can step in and help out. So, Grant, in my rambling, what did I miss? Anything else that you want to add?
No, and here's the thing. To Aaron's point, folks, this is a very intimate decision. It's a very complex decision, and it should not be made without understanding the greater context of your very financial situation. With Aaron is what I think you're really getting at today, which is important because when you look at pension maximization, other tools that you could have spent lots of time discussing, there's just so many things that need to be evaluated. It's not something as simple as here's my monthly output, here's the decision I'm going to make. It has to be a symphony. You have to orchestrate and conduct it perfectly. And so, if you're looking for someone who can help you and wants to holistically look at your situation and dive into this, please give us a call 800-928-4001. Our team will gladly schedule a complimentary next steps meeting with you if you're not already one of our FEG families to sit down and talk through this complexity and make sure you're making the best decision, not just today, but also in the future. And then you can also reach out to us with simple questions to talk to feg@yourlifeafterwork.com. And Aaron has done a lot of these other really good context videos and articles on pensions, which can be found at yourlifeafterwork.com as well. Thank you always for your attention. There's a lot of things you can be paying attention to, and we're so grateful for the context that we produce for our families and friends. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you at the next one.